Selling a high-rise condo in downtown Chicago, from neighborhoods like the South Loop and the Gold Coast to Streeterville and River North, involves several steps after you receive an offer. While many sellers tend to believe that a signed contract is the finish line, it's actually just the first step in a series of complex changes that require careful navigation to reach a successful closing. Each phase comes with contingencies that serve as mini hurdles to get over. Ensuring that the deal is solid and will indeed close as planned requires a bit more. In this video, I'll outline some of the most common contingencies that high-rise condo sellers in Chicago encounter, along with some tips for you to minimize your stress from contract to the closing table. I'm Dupiton, a real estate advisor here in Chicago, and I specialize in helping condo owners understand how to increase their property's value and eventually get it sold. Before we dive in, if you want more insider tips about selling your high-rise condo in Chicago, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Okay, now, as a seller, you may put a lot of work into prepping your condo for the market, from basic tidying up and decluttering to major repairs, staging, maybe even a renovation. And that's before you officially put it on the market, only to navigate showings and offers and negotiations. By the time you sign a sales contract, you'll probably breathe a big sigh of relief. Just know that nothing is completely certain yet. The logistics of moving are not the only details that you need to be concerned about at that moment. You have some work ahead of you to get through the contract's contingencies. So let's explore how that works after the contract is signed with a potential buyer. Hey, do you know someone who's thinking about selling their Chicago condo? Share this video with them because it could save them time, frustration, and money. Okay, let's get to the nitty-gritty. The attorney review period is a standard part of any real estate contract in Chicago. This phase typically allows both the buyer's and seller's attorneys several days to review the contract's terms. Each attorney will review to ensure that the contract protects their client's interests, which might involve suggesting changes or clarifying language in the agreement. This back and forth is handled in written correspondence that becomes part of the contract once everything's all agreed. Both attorneys generally request contract modifications, such as specifying certain contingency dates or agreeing on how to handle a low appraisal. Your attorney will work to keep terms favorable to you, limiting requests that could delay or complicate the closing process. But, and here's a warning, you should know that some buyers get cold feet after signing the contract and will later use attorney review to terminate a transaction before it even gets off the ground. Yes, that's a possibility. And yes, it is hard to protect against, but there are some things we can do to make sure there's a serious buyer on the other end. What is also frustrating to many sellers is that they will get 100% of their earnest money deposit back in most cases. See, this is just some of the uncertainty that you need to be aware of as you enter the contract phase of the selling process. It helps you manage your expectations. For sellers in Chicago's high-rise condo market, particularly those working with larger buildings, with more complex condo associations in neighborhoods like Streeterville or Gold Coast or Edgewater, an experienced real estate attorney, preferably one who's handled lots of condo closings, can be crucial for keeping the attorney review period short. Making sure you're checking your email frequently and responding quickly to requests for information or decisions can help keep things moving forward. Now, at the same time attorney review is happening, the inspection contingency is also happening. It gives the buyer the chance to have a professional inspection of the unit. Condo inspections usually cover the unit's major systems like plumbing, electrical, windows and doors, HVAC, as well as any visible structural components. Did you have an inspection when you purchased your unit? If so, Now might be a good time to find it and make any repairs you didn't quite get to while you were living there. It's so easy to believe the myth that buyers will learn to live with the imperfections you've gotten used to. But today's buyers can be both more knowledgeable and less experienced. Some of them have many years of property ownership under their belt, but are new to condos. Others are very accomplished professionally and qualified financially, but are unwilling to take on even minor repairs they're unfamiliar with. Think about it. People generally choose condos for a more maintenance free lifestyle. And this is exactly what can make your potential buyer a lot more hesitant to take on repairs. So, after inspection, buyers may ask for you to make repairs yourself before closing or give them a monetary credit to account for any issues they found. For example, if the inspection reveals that the electrical box has some weird wiring you never knew about, or the heating or AC system has some components that are at the end of their lives or maybe weren't installed correctly, the buyer might request a credit to help cover those replacement costs. Even if your building is responsible for HVAC or other major systems, there are usually components that you're responsible for as a unit owner. So consider a pre-listing inspection before putting your unit on the market. It can be a wise investment because addressing minor repairs in advance can prevent renegotiations and contract terminations and keep your condo attractive to potential buyers through their inspection process. But there are some cases where a pre-listing inspection may not be the best move. Be sure to speak with a qualified real estate agent who works with condo buyers about your specific situation either way. It's true. Condo associations in Chicago do add an additional layer of review during the selling process, and it's kind of known as this condo association due diligence period. This is a contingency that allows the buyer to review the association's health and the rules that affect both daily life and long-term investment security. Does your association cap the number of rental units allowed, or forbid pets at all, or certain specific dog breeds? Make sure the agent you hire will do research before listing to ensure you don't end up under contract with the wrong buyer and the wrong expectations, because that is a waste of time for everybody. Buyers will examine a wide range of documents, from financial statements to association rules, board meeting minutes, reserve fund status. For example, many Gold Coast buildings also require an interview or an orientation for new residents, while some even review the buyer's credit report to evaluate financial stability. In other cases, the association might have recently levied a special assessment or had discussions about one in their official meetings. That's why the minutes are important. If they're looking at a facade project or some specialty work on vintage buildings, all of those things could impact a buyer's future costs. Having these documents organized and accessible is essential to move through this stage efficiently. Be prepared to answer questions about special assessments, capital reserves, unique building rules. Transparency can prevent last-minute hesitations from buyers. Finally, check in with your building's property manager to let them know you are selling and that some questions may come their way from attorneys or from another real estate agent, and fast responses are appreciated. Hey, we're building a community of informed condo owners here, and I would love for you to be a part of it. Subscribe to join and share this video with anyone you think may find it valuable. The mortgage contingency protects the buyer if they can't secure financing, which could halt the sale if the loan doesn't get approved. Although a buyer may be pre-approved, the lender will review the building's financials and other details. So if your condo building has pending litigation or a large number of unit owners behind on their payments, it could be a problem for the buyer's loan approval. While you can't know everything in advance, the right real estate agent will help you with upfront research to avoid unexpected problems after contract. If the buyer's financial situation changes or the building fails to meet lender guidelines, the financing might fail. If a building has one person or entity that owns a large percentage of the total number of units, some lenders might not approve a mortgage as they see it as a higher risk in those situations. Work with a real estate agent who has expertise in downtown Chicago high-rise properties. They can guide you to qualified buyers with lenders that are familiar with the condo association requirements in our buildings. Each contingency stage in the selling process serves to safeguard both the buyer and seller, but it's crucial for you to know what the unknowns are at contract signing and approach each contingency with responsiveness and determination. Whether you're selling in Streeterville, the West Loop, River North, South Loop, understanding these contingencies helps ensure you're prepared for the full process from negotiations through closing. You can have a seamless transaction, but laying the groundwork for this starts long before signing on the dotted line. By addressing any potential issues in advance, you'll minimize delays and keep your condo listing appealing and competitive in our market. And most importantly, it'll help you get that condo sold in the time frame that works for you and for top dollar.